course, is the younger generation. But do you guys like take apprenticeships, like any of you? Not necessarily standing out, not for me, but like say like if a younger woman artist seeing you guys, would you be willing to work with them or?
Interns. I love interns. I've had like the most I've had is like 5 interns at a time, right? And that's like the most, and I had them all working from home. I gave them like individual projects that they needed to do because I couldn't. Again, it's about building your team because you get to some point where I can't do everything. I'm driving myself crazy. I'm an angry Asian, and you just gotta get your team together. You gotta get your team together so people can delegate. What I would do is just go out and meet people, talk to your professors if you're in school. Just get out there and let people know what you're doing, what you're needing. Ask for people what they need help with. Networking is a great thing because I'm a serial networker, and networking is not about what can people do for me. It's about what I can do for other people. So when I meet someone, I just say, hey, what are you working on? What can I do to help? That's how I came up with this. I called Dan. I said, Dan, I'm really getting tight on my network, and I want to go out there, and I'm pumped, and I want to see what can I do. This is my question. What are you working on between now and the end of 2015 that I could help you with? And then he said, well, you want to be on a panel? I'm like, sure. So it's really about getting in people's faces, let people know what you're doing, learn about what they're doing, and just start building those relationships. I think relationship building is really important.
Good question.
Well, you mentioned, dealing with a mentor. What would be a recommendation or suggestion? I mean, obviously just in the networking as well, but are there any direct channels or more concrete ways to get into a situation where you have someone who's already currently at that place as a mentor and for that relationship?
What specifically are you looking for mentorship in?
The business side of things, really. I'm an acrylic painter. I'm a school teacher by day, sat painting at night. So, I mean, it's, as you say, balance is always an issue. I got 2 kids there.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I spend my day being other kids' mentoring. So, in a sense, I feel very unbalanced because when I leave work, I become an island unto myself and what I dream of doing. I dream at night and I wake up and work on it, but working in isolation becomes not depressing, but tiring. Not even tiring. It becomes, okay, am I swimming in the middle of the ocean?
You don't know where you
with
are.
No life buoy. Exactly.
Yeah.
Just swimming.
Well, I'm gonna give Dan the shameless plug.
Shameless plug. Okay. When you're looking for an opportunity, it will present itself.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? A few years ago when I started wanting to get back into my art, I was like, what do I want to do? I miss doing my art and blah, 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 blah. I came across Artist King, and I was real nervous because I was like, I felt really unworthy as an artist because I hadn't continued to do my art over the years, even though I felt like I was an artist. But when I met Dan, he kind of eased that, and he was presenting information through the program that made me feel comfortable. So I felt like an artist resurrected. But you really got to find people who are doing what you want to do. They have the information that you need. And he's not my only mentor either. I have other people that I use in other areas. But you got to figure out who gives you what you need as far as the information. So just figure out what it is you need and then seek out that type of person. So.
I mean, once you start to immerse.
That's what she did for me.
Yeah.
I met Tracy in business relationships to do some writing for her. And I'm a novelist and working on that. And I think the answer to it is not always even people in your field, other creatives.
Yeah.
To have more people in your life who don't do this frivolous, who don't do this, part-time, people who regularly and consistently. I was talking to her, and at the time I had an opportunity, and I was not sure I would try for it. And I left like super inspired. It was like this mutual love there for this great conversation. So I think it's like just talking a lot of times to other people who are creatives, because that's what she did for me. And I kind of was in a place where a crossroads, and I took the right path because I had that impetus from that conversation.
It's like you need an example.
What
You
you
need an example.
was saying about C4.
Yeah.
Because that's a good, I mean, especially if you're looking for, stuff with finance and business and management, that's a good network.
Yeah. So, I mean, just as you immerse yourself into the art community more and more, which is what I found I was doing for a long time because of the divorce. I kind of just threw myself into my art, and I was writing nonstop, and I was sculpting nonstop, and I was kind of void of the rest of how do I get out there and get involved. And really the first process for me getting involved was online. Like, I met a lot of other writers that way, a lot of other artists, and some to this day are like, we're really, really good friends. Some of them have become mentors because some of them had published several books. So I said, can you mentor me? Can you kind of guide me? Dan is another example. I met him online. I was living in New York at the time, had no idea I was coming to Atlanta. So when I came to Atlanta, I'm part of the LAE program, and him and his wife, they've been amazing mentors, and really, the stuff is out there. You just have to find it, the C4, the Wonder Root, and once you start getting out there, you're gonna find those mentors, no problem, and you're gonna find people who can just discuss everything with.
Atlanta seems to have a lot of grassroots organizations that support artists too. So, it's just so much out there, but you got to get out there and be amongst people. Yeah.
I mean, it's something that I have to. That whole isolation thing can happen with any artist, because you get to a point where you're on a roll or there's not enough time, and I literally had to put on my calendar every week. I'm going to a gallery, I'm going to an art event, and until it was a consistent habit, and I was dragging some of my friends were like, oh God, not another. And I was just like, this one is great, the wine is fantastic, okay? And this person's art is just amazing, and we're only staying for 15 minutes, and had a role like that, but initially to get out of that whole being inside your head or being in your studio or being in your little world island, I actually had to put it on the calendar, and then I had to commit and invite somebody else who would be like, you're not flaking on me, okay? We are going,
And then sometimes you got to go by yourself.
And then you have to go, and then by that time, you have to go, because it's a part of what, if I haven't seen someone's artwork in a week, then I kind of feel like, what's up? Yeah. Okay, let me figure out where I can go tonight.
To piggyback on that.
Sorry. I just want to say that's what groups have done for me. I'm the groupie. Women art groups in North Carolina and here in Atlanta and nationally. Now I'm on a national board. Sculpture groups. Anyway.
I'm a group. I got you.
And come from us. And we have shows. We're not real business oriented, but we're more into helping you form your, come closer to what you want to do, what your voice and your vision is, to stretch you. But
to piggyback on the calendar, I found that has helped me a lot with knowing what's going on in the animation industry. So it started with putting on my calendar, I'm going to this event, going to that event, and to making a commitment that I'm always going to know what's going on. I signed up with ASIFA in 2007-8ish and became the person who updates the calendar with all the events.
Gotcha.
So now I am committed to finding out what's happening. It makes me keep a list of all the organizations, all the galleries, everyone who supports animation, and then what are you doing this time, what are you doing this time, and then knowing it and then having to update it. When you make that, I guess when you get to the level of putting on your calendar that you're going to start going to events, and then put it into, I'm committed to knowing my industry and what's happening in it, and who's going to do what in my industry, then it makes a big difference. Because at the very least, when someone asks you a question, you know the answer immediately, and it just builds your brand into someone who's a knower.
I got one more to add to that.
Okay.
When you're a part of organizations, just like she was saying, if you get involved volunteering, then they know who you are. So Even if you're not necessarily the knowledge person, but just to be amongst the people to be as somebody that is the go-to person for something, you know. So, yeah, just get involved. You got to get involved.
Yeah, know what's valued. Yeah. Like you were saying, like you don't have to be the knower. My industry, being a knower is really important. Yeah. And then if it's like, you know, being the really good friend or something like that, then, you know, you got to know what's important for you.
Okay, and we're gonna wrap it up with Lynn.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, even with, I mean, I've been around for a while, but that space of wanting to be alone, I have that. Where you want to get out, I want to stay inside. I'm serious. I'm best when I'm alone. I've always been like that. I've been like that since I was a child. But you know, here again, to piggyback on what Ann was saying and some of the others, it does help, you know, to just, I have to make myself go to, I do, and that's why I'm here tonight. No, seriously, because I saw it on the calendar, and it was just like, I have to get out of the house, and I have to be around people, because I will get a certain small group of folks, like my clay class that I'm going to when I leave here. I have these places of refuge that I go, not that anybody's chasing me, but you know, I have this space that is very comfortable because I'm not being bothered, and I can do what it is that I love, which is making things. So I have to make myself come out of making things. I used to do it through teaching, but now that I'm just working pretty much full time, you know, I'm just like a pig and poop. It's every day I wake up and it's just me and the cat, you know. You know, but that's not going to get it either, because you've got to get out and you've got to be, you know, out in public and do a gallery, maybe do whatever, but you've got to get out and you know, and participate and network. And I think that's the key to piggyback on what everybody else was saying, is that it's the network.
And then close one more.
Okay, one more little I want to think. I think about the mentor thing, I think it's about the commitment to a learning experience. So if you, like, you know, we've all had crazy part-time jobs and trying to, you know, maintain our art career. And, you know, I was a financial advisor for a little while, so it's really drastic for a financial advisor, right? But I would say hang around people that inspire you. You know, it doesn't have to be someone in your field. If they're excellent at what they do in another field, they have plenty to teach you. You know, and so my 3 years as a financial advisor, you know, I learned how to manage, I learned how to hire people, I learned how to delegate, how to be a good mentor, be a good coach. Like, I learned all that, and it gives you confidence and stuff. So everything that you're doing right now, you're able to learn something that you're going to be able to take with you forever. And so I would just be a sponge to learning about anything, you know, I would become just obsessed with your art, become obsessed with it. It's not about, you know, just dive in and just, if you love it, you know, I don't feel like you really have to work if you love it. And then, and I guess that's it. And then as far as if you see someone that you really look up to, I do a lot of cold calling, you know, so I cold call, you know, I cold call HIV clinics to invite them to be on my project, and they're like, Yon, your idea is crazy, I love it, come meet with us, me and my staff next week. And so once you meet with a mentor, you like them, I would call them, and as the intern or someone, you definitely have value to add to them. Everybody needs extra help, especially extra free help, with happy, enthusiastic people that want to learn from us, right? So you can just say, hey, you know, I'm willing to work for free. I just want to learn. These are my references. You know, if you have professors that believe in you, just go out there. Let people know what you need, what you're looking for. Ask for what other people are looking for. And, you know, people are going to fulfill that need. You're going to find someone that would love to work with you.
Definitely. And you have everybody's website information, so you can stay in touch. Just about everybody has a Facebook page. You know, so keep the conversation going and keep the connections and grow them.
All right.
This is DTM of DeltaTangoMike.com, and we will see you next week for another episode of Artist King Podcast.